Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and get started. Peanut Gallery over here. Thank you all for being here tonight. We're so excited to close out our history conference here with the reception. Thank you again for being here for the 70th annual Utah Historical Society Conference, Water, the Confluence of Past and Future. I want to thank our conference underwriters and sponsors. We appreciate their generous contributions and their support of our work. I also want to thank our Utah State Historical Society award funders who make our financial awards tonight possible. I appreciate the Board of State History members who are here tonight and the Utah State Historical Society Fellows and Honorary Life members for their contribution to Utah's history. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge our staff and our interns, our volunteers, everyone who made tonight and today possible. Thank you so much for all of your work that you've done. At this time, I'd like to welcome Spencer Hall, the Vice Chair of the Board of State History, who will announce our 2022 awards. Spencer is the Chief Operating Officer for New Hydrogen. Thank you, Spencer.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight's awards are the culmination of study and conversation among the editors of the Utah Historical Quarterly, Utah Historical Quarterly Advisory Board of Editors, State History's Program Coordinators, the Utah Board of State History, and special committees of historians assembled to review the book and article nominations. We thank those who contributed to this process, as well as the donors who offered the stipends. We could not offer this conference or these awards without their generous support. It's now my pleasure to announce Utah State History's 2022 Outstanding Achievement Awards, which are given for a lengthy period of excellence. Today's awards are the culmination of study and conversation by the Board of State History staff, volunteers, and others. Our first Outstanding Achievement Award goes to the Think Water Utah Project Partners. We're thrilled to present an Outstanding Achievement Award to the Think Water Utah Project Partners through the Utah Humanities for their collaborative efforts in bringing conversations to the forefront on the critical and timely topic of water across Utah. Think Water Utah aims to forge a network of public history and cultural institutions across the state. And to promote public understanding of water in Utah, Think Water Utah accomplished these goals through a multi-pronged approach, which included an exhibitions tour of waterways and H2O today to 9 Utah locations. Local programming connected Utah to larger national themes and conversations to prompt Utahns to explore their community history in a multitude of ways. Additionally, Utah Humanities, in conjunction with their local partners, created dynamic programming and amplified stories on the ground, elevated local history work through capacity building and support of rural small organizations across the state. Congratulations to the Think Water Utah Project Partners on this incredible program. I'd like to invite the Think Utah Water Project Partners, as many of you are here, come on up and take a picture, and let's give them a hand. Might be room for all of us on the stage. Let's see. Thanks, guys. Now, we're delighted to present our second Outstanding Achievement Award to Senator Janie Iwamoto. She's not here tonight, unfortunately, but in her capacity as a champion of our work at the Utah Division of State History and of telling a fuller and richer story of Utah's history. In the 2022 legislative session, Senator Iwamoto secured critical one-time and ongoing educational funding of $350,000 for the Peoples of Utah Revisited, State History's flagship project for America 2050. The funding will support the initiative through 2026. Specifically, the agency was able to hire a community engagement coordinator with these funds who will develop a community history program that includes oral history work, community outreach, and a program that will document untold and unrepresented history from communities across Utah. Senator Iwamoto's tireless work and support over the years is evident in her advocacy work at the state legislature. We are extremely grateful and so thrilled that we can count our agency to be among the ones that Senator Iwamoto has supported over her tenure at the legislative level. Thank you, Senator Iwamoto, who is not here, but we will give her a round of applause for her Outstanding Achievement Award. Up next is the William P. McKinnon Award. Each year, William P. McKinnon generously provides funds to further the professional development of a meritorious employee of Utah State history. I'd like to take a moment to salute William P. McKinnon, a fellow of the Utah State Historical Society, who has made this award available each year. This year, the award goes to Amy Berry, who manages our cemetery and burials program and our division website. Besides consistently improving the quality and quantity of our burials database, Amy has developed greatly in-demand skills on the carrying of headstones and is traveling the state sharing that expertise. Both Amy and Mr. McKinnon are unable to attend tonight and send their regrets, but let's give them a round of applause. And now we'd like to present the 2022 Article Awards. First, the Helen Papanikolas Award goes to the best college or university students paper on the subject of women's history in Utah. This year's award goes to Carrie Ann DeLoach for I Don't Know How I Can Stand It Much Longer, Utah Women's Discharge Requests and the Price of Volunteer Enlistment in the Spanish-American War. This paper discusses an often overlooked aspect of war, the effect war has on those left behind, in particular women. This is done by first analyzing the demographic characteristics of women who submitted letters to Utah Governor Heber M. Wells regarding Spanish-American enlistments, war service, and discharges. Issues discussed in this paper include how some mothers blocked underage and young men with medical issues from enlisting. The letters to Governor Wells discuss the emotional and financial stresses felt by families behind. Also discussed in this paper are reasons for discharges, including the restoration of female honor, recall of men who saw the war as an opportunity to free themselves from familial responsibilities, and the return of the male as a wage earner. Ms. DeLoach received her PhD in history from Rice University. She's unable to attend tonight, but accepting the Helen Papanikolas Award on her behalf is Linda Thatcher, one of the award's co-donors. Is Linda here? We may not. Yeah. The Dale L. Morgan Award goes to the best scholarly article appearing in the Utah Historical Quarterly. This year's winner is Matthew C. Godfrey for Organizing Farmers in Utah, Charles G. Patterson, and the Intermountain Association of Sugar Beet Growers, published in the winter 2021 issue. A century ago, when agriculture still dominated the Wasatch Front, Charles G. Patterson organized a labor association designed to empower sugar beet farmers. In this article, Matthew C. Godfrey skillfully tells the story of the Intermountain Sugar Beet Growers Association and the religious entanglements that influence business in Utah. Accepting the Dale L. Morgan Award is the author, Matthew C. Godfrey. The Charles Redd Center for Western Study Award goes to the best general interest article appearing in the Utah Historical Quarterly. This year's award winner goes to Lisa Olson Tate for I Have Shot My Betrayer, The Trial of Amanda Olson, 1890, published in the spring 2021 issue. Amanda Olson was the working-class daughter of Swedish immigrants who in 1890 Salt Lake City murdered the man she claimed had betrayed her. Amanda's case became a local media sensation, and it hinged on the concept of seduction. In this article, Lisa Olson Tate carefully analyzes the contemporary ideas about womanhood that led to Amanda's acquittal. Accepting the Charles Redd Center for Western Study Award, tonight is the author, Lisa Olson Tate. The Nick Yangich Memorial Editor's Choice Award goes to the Utah Historical Quarterly article selected by the editors as their choice for the year. This year's award goes to Cody Patton for Beehive Brews, A Heady History of the Becker Brewing and Malting Company, published in the summer 2021 issue. Cody Patton's heady history centers on the Becker Beer Company, which was headquartered in Ogden and had a regional reach. The company survived Prohibition and even flourished after it, speaking not only to the entrepreneurship of the Becker family, but also to the economics of alcohol in the Intermountain West. Mr. Patton is not available to be with us tonight and sends his regrets, but let's give him a hand. Now to the book awards. This year, we had an exceptional slate of books and authors to consider for Best Book on Utah History. Any one of the books we evaluated this year could have received the award. We recommend all of these titles as exceptional examples of contemporary Utah history. The finalist for Best Book in Utah History goes to Farina King, Michael P. Taylor, and James R. Swenson for Returning Home, Dene Creative Works from the Intermountain Indian School, published by the University of Arizona Press in 2021. The Intermountain Indian School in Brigham City was for decades the largest federal Indian boarding school, attended by tens of thousands of Dene Navajo students. Returning Home presents and contextualizes the art and literature created by many such students who use their creative works to nurture and maintain connections to home, family, and land. This deeply felt book makes evident the beauty, complexity, and agency of these Navajo youth. Accepting the award are James Swenson, Michael Taylor, and Farina King is not able to attend as she lives in Oklahoma, but I believe James and Michael are here. Let's give them a hand. There you know. They're not here, but that was fantastic. All right. The Juanita Brooks Best Book in Utah History goes to Virginia Kearns for Sally in Three Worlds, an Indian Captive in the House of Brigham Young, published by the University of Utah Press in 2021. In this remarkable book, Virginia Kearns overturns the accepted tale of an Indian girl who was raised in the home of Brigham Young. Kearns examines the three worlds that the young woman Sally lived in and takes her from being a historical footnote to being the center of a complex and moving story. Along the way, Kearns fully analyzes the idea of wild versus tame and how it impacted the people of 19th century Utah. Virginia Kearns is not able to be with us tonight. Accepting the Juanita Brooks Award are Hannah New, Marketing Manager at the University of Utah Press, and Glenda Cotter, Director of the University of Utah Press. Now to the Honorary Life Members Awards. The Utah State Historical Society has a long tradition of awarding special citations for scholarship and extraordinary contributions to Utah history. Tonight, we are saluting two individuals as honorary life members. An honorary life member is one who has provided a distinguished service to the state and the society, including service and leadership over a long period of time. We are first recognizing May Timbimbu Perry, who is a member of the Northwestern Band of Shoshone Nation with a posthumous Honorary Life Member Award. For over half a century, she served as an activist, storyteller, tradition bearer for her people. May began her lifelong advocacy as a teenager, gathering historical materials and recording intergenerational narratives, especially regarding the 1863 Bear River Massacre. Thereafter, she became a tribal repository author, advisor to academic historians, and expert witness to state government, federal agencies, and US Congress. Speaking to hundreds of groups across the Intermountain West, Perry told her people's story, defended their cultural practices and land rights, and persuasively corrected white settler narratives. Accepting May Timbimbu's award is her grandson, Darren Perry. I'm gonna have Darren stay up here for a second because our second honorary life member award goes to Darren Perry. This is extremely well deserved, and it's an honor for me to be able to present this. Darren Perry is a former chairman of the Northwestern Band of the Shoshone Nation. For the past decade, he has managed the development of the Boogoi Cultural Interpretive Center, which will be built on the site of the Bear River Massacre. In 2018, under his leadership, the Northwestern Band purchased nearly 550 acres at the site of the massacre. Alongside tribal leaders, Darren has contracted with private companies and universities to better understand the environment and archaeology at the site. In 2019, Darren published the Bear River Massacre, a Shoshone History, which he describes as the unfinished work of his grandmother. Please join me in recognizing once again Darren Perry with an Honorary Life Member Award. Darren, while we've got you, if you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes and just share a few thoughts. You spoke yesterday, but I think this is a special moment for you and for all of us to be able to share this with you. So if you wouldn't mind.
That's what I get for knowing Spencer. What an honor for my grandmother, this beautiful tribal elder, who I was lucky enough to sit and learn at her feet. I remember one day her telling me, Darren, no one has ever wanted to hear our story before. One day you'll have to make them listen. You know what? I've never had to make anybody listen. But when she told me that, I didn't understand. I didn't understand that she had gone to boarding school. She'd lived in the 20s and 30s and 40s where women never had a voice, especially brown women. Brown women never had a voice. And so to grow up with that mentorship meant the world to me, and it means more to me now. I wish I would have paid more attention back then. I'm grateful to be at the conference. I was grateful to be part of the museum group yesterday and be part of the discussion today. Among so many wonderful people and historians, when I wrote that book, I was really embarrassed because it was little and it was written in a way not like my academic friends write books. And that always bothered me. because it was the way I learned. It was storytelling. But I've come to appreciate that storytelling side, that oral history telling side. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for your voices. I have learned so much over the last couple of days. In this last session I sat in about the Great Salt Lake, I found myself becoming a little angry. And then I pulled out my calculator and thought, okay, when did the pioneers come here? And subtracted from today and thought, it's only taken pioneers 175 years to screw this whole thing up. And now we're here to try to fix it, to try to memorialize it, to try to explain it, but really to try to come together and fix it. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for your perspectives. That's one thing she taught me. She taught me two things. One, everybody has a story worthy of being told. What is your story going to be? Because your story is as important as mine. And she taught me that as we preserve history, everybody's point of view should be respected. Everybody's. And I love that about her. Let me just leave you with my favorite quote of all time. Sorry, David Lewis. David Lewis taught me this years ago when he said, history doesn't always affirm us. Sometimes history challenges us to think about an uglier past that we'd rather not have. But that's really the power and the benefit of history. It connects us to the past. It connects us to our humanity and our inhumanity. But it always offers us a way to move forward. Always. Especially in a circumstance like we're in with my people, you, others, to move forward in a relationship that connects us not in the prettiest of ways, but to move forward to this new relationship that we're in today, which I call a 21st century relationship based on respect. Respect for the truth and what happened in that past moment. Then and only then do you get the possibility for reconciliation. And that's why we're here. So I'm so honored for my grandmother. Oh my gosh, my awards look cool too, but to see her honored in a way she would have expected it. To see her honored though is really the highlight for me. And I'm just trying to carry on her work. So thank you for all that you do in your professions. And thank you for always giving me a platform to share a part of history that's never really been talked about before. So thank you.
We're really just so lucky to have Darren telling stories, and that we all get to learn and try to help make things better. And I think his words about reconciliation are just really the blueprint for everything that we're doing. I appreciate everyone who have participated in this program. Thanks again to our conference sponsors, and thank you for attending tonight's reception and awards program. Hope everyone drives safely and has a great night. Thank you so much for your contributions to state history, and thank you for all the great scholarship and support you do. Have a great night.